Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ken Frederick Podcast, KFP 125, movie anticipation. I want to say thank you for listening. If you just stumbled across us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com, at Ken Fred Podcast on Twitter, at KF Podcast on Facebook, and at Ken Frederick Podcast and all your other social media needs. Also, check us out on SoundCloud. We have weekly content that is fresh that you can check out, where we talk about the Wish app for 20 minutes, apparently. Yeah. And other things. So we decided to do a little bit of talking about, we got Justin via satellite.
Hey, everybody.
We got Donald.
Hey.
And we decided to use this movie anticipation to talk about some stuff because we're so bonerific excited about more Infinity War. So, yeah.
So, yeah, we decided, there's a lot of hype for Infinity War. We're about a week out. And it kind of got us talking about, besides this movie, which obviously we're so hyped for, what are some of the other ones that the KFP team here have been excited about? Maybe not as much as we are for Infinity War, but what type of anticipation have we had in the past? When the movie came, did it live up to it? Explain why we were hyped about it a little bit and sort of what it did for us. So we figured we'd go around a little bit, though. We'll talk here real quick Infinity War. So we're a week out.
Yes.
I think this is one of the most hyped movies of all time.
I think so, too. Well, I mean, what other movie has 10 years of build-up?
Yep. It makes me nervous, though, that it's not going to meet every expectation that I have.
Well, it's going to be tough, too, to do that.
But I don't see how I can walk away from this movie disappointed.
True.
I don't know. It has to be some really stupid shit that happens in it that would make us...
Jar Jar Binks is going to show up.
You think so, Jar Jar Binks?
Beach. Jar Jar Beach.
What would have to happen in this movie that would make you not like it, being a Thanos fan?
They have to totally abandon the actual soul of the character.
Okay.
I mean, other than... Because really, we know how all the other players in this... And I understand it's not going to be a page-for-page, panel-by-panel reboot of the Infinity Gauntlet comic book. Mm-hmm. But the only way this can really ruin it for me is if they totally, just totally go away from the Thanos' character, make him maybe a little crying bitch. It's just it has to be really bad.
Worrying about his daughters type stuff.
Yeah, just horrible, sniveling.
Have a change of heart.
Yeah,
because Nebula gets to him.
I don't know. It's just going to be tough for me to actually, to actually hate this movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know. There's got to be some... I think the thing that would make me hate it is if they just start killing people off for no reason.
Yeah.
And they don't plan on bringing... I don't know. I don't want it to all just to be about, everyone's dead. And, I don't know. They could do the everyone's dead. They're going to bring him back with the time stone and all that stuff. But I don't know.
I think for me, I think we've talked about it. I don't think this is even a possibility because I'm pretty sure they've guaranteed that Thanos is going to show up in Part 4, Avengers 4. But I think if they made this a one and done and they just defeat Thanos by the end of this movie, I would be completely let down. Yeah. How many movies have they been building this character up? And if they just come together and defeat him after a single movie, that would completely kill it for me.
Yeah. I hope they don't chump the Black Order. That's one of my worries. Yeah. I want the Black Order to sort of kick their ass a little bit. And if they're kind of weak and just getting their butts kicked, then I think it's kind of a waste of characters that have stood toe-to-toe with the Avengers and held their own. I mean, I could see Hulk kicking their ass, but, I don't know. Cap should have a hard time with some of these people.
They're totally should.
They're very powerful. I could see Thor kicking some ass on him, but,
Kicking some ass, Thor.
So, is it going to let us down? I don't know. I don't really think so. I think it's going to be great. I hope so. And we'll know next week.
Yeah, it should be exciting. We're going to go see it.
So, based off this, this kind of hype, this kind of feeling of this, we're going to start with Justin. Justin, what is your movie that you could say you were so hyped for, building up, you had all these expectations? Because a lot of times we see this movie, I'll give you one for example, Spider-Man Homecoming. I really had no expectations for it. I like Spider-Man. I'm glad he's in the Marvel Universe. I didn't go in going, it's got to meet A, B, and C for me. It's got to have these. And then was let down. I really didn't care. Same way I felt about like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. So Justin, what's your movie that you were like, man, this has to do it, and tell us what it is.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Oh God. So explain yourself. Start with your expectations for it, what you had.
So,
things like that.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a little kid. I remember, watching these movies with my dad when I was younger, and I've been a Star Wars fan for a really, really long time. And the build up after Force Awakens, I really, really liked Force Awakens. And to have new Star Wars stuff that wasn't the prequel trilogy, the continuation of Luke Skywalker, and the hopefully the culmination of that storyline, I was super excited coming out of Force Awakens and couldn't wait for this to come out. And then the trailers looked great, and the trailers were hyping things up. And I thought we were finally going to get to see a Master Jedi Luke Skywalker just completely destroying Kylo Ren or Snoke or somebody. I really thought everything going into it, I was so excited coming into this movie. I thought we were going to find out about Snoke. Snoke was a cool character in Force Awakens. They set him up really well. And there was just so much that I was expecting to come out of this. And I remember when we sat in the theater, we got to the end of it. The trailer or the end drops and the credits start rolling. And I remember just sitting in my seat thinking, what just happened? I couldn't believe the 2.5 hours that I just sat through, based off of the expectations and everything that I thought leading up to it, and what I saw was 180 degrees different.
Yeah, I remember turning you in the middle of the movie and going, "What is going on? Like, what are we watching here? What's going on?" Crazy.
Yeah, so I kind of went for this exercise. I kind of went the negative way, and this movie.
But I mean, it makes sense. You
completely did not live up to expectations.
Yeah, you were really hyped for this movie. You really were excited for it, and then it was a huge letdown. I mean, I was excited for it, not as much as you, as I'm not as big Star Wars guy as you are. But yeah, I can see that.
So that's my pick: is disappointment.
Disappointment.
Did not live up to expectations.
All right. So now we're going to kick it over to Ken Frederick.
Well, that's funny that yours was that, because mine was Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
So this was after having such a long lull in the Star Wars universe and loving those movies. I was like, okay, this is great. I'm so excited for an origin story. Like, we're going to see all these new characters. I worked at Toys R Us at the time, so we had like a big midnight release of all the action figures. We had so much stuff. And I went into the movie being, and I'm glad, like, I don't know, what year did that come out? It was like 20 years ago, I feel like. Or
99.
99.
Yeah.
Shit. Wow.
So, 19 years
when
ago.
You said 20 years ago, I thought, like, you're being a little ridiculous. You're not.
No. So 99.
We're old.
Yeah. So 99, yeah. So I was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I was so just lost in the fact that I was watching Star Wars. And I loved Darth Maul. I thought all his action scenes were great.
Remember how exciting the trailer was?
Oh, yeah.
They heard the music again.
Yeah, and then I watched it, and I still, when I saw it, liked it. It's like, oh, it's great. And then you watch it again, you're like, it's not that great.
See, I still love this movie. I think I'm one of the only people that loves this movie.
I don't love it anymore.
I still love it to this day. It's my favorite out of all the prequels.
Even over, was it Revenge of the...
Yeah, because I hate Hayden Christian. I can't stand him as whiny Anakin Skywalker.
All right.
I love Qui-Gon Jinn.
It's great.
It's my favorite out of those movies. I don't know. I like it. I actually like it. This is weird. I like it better than A New Hope. Now, my favorite Star Wars movie. I'm not your typical nerd who says Empire Strikes Back, because that's the stupid answer that everyone gets. My favorite is Return of the Jedi. And then I like Empire Strikes Back, and then probably But I like Phantom Menace. It's up there with like my second or third favorite. Because New Hope to me, when you go back and watch it again, there's a lot of boring shit that happens.
That's why I like Empire. Empire just starts off with action, like it's a great scene, and then you're like all the chasing, and then like you find out, it's a lot of. That's why
I just like the battles in Jedi.
Makes sense.
But Phantom Menace is Darth Maul. Where they dropped the ball was killing off Darth Maul.
Oh yeah,
because he should have been in all three.
Yep.
He was that good. He should have been in all three.
Yep.
Because his scenes in that movie are great.
Yep.
I love the opening in that movie where you finally see Jedi again.
Yeah.
And they're on that shuttle and
there's like a council and they're like, oh, we're here as diplomat.
Yeah. And then they have to get badass.
Yeah.
Know? It was good. I mean, Jar Jar Binks was annoying, but he didn't. I liked the Gungans.
The Gungans underwater stuff was cool. It's not my favorite. It definitely shows like its cracks later on.
I enjoy the
But
way...
I was bought into the hype of all of it. Like, I bought all those action figures.
Well, I was working for RPS at the time.
Okay.
That was the old... It was like a UPS spinoff, Roadway Packaging Services.
Okay.
And I was loading trucks. And the Toys R Us ones would come in, and the action figure boxes were breaking over, and everybody's stealing, like, the Darth Maul. Because you wanted the Darth Maul. There's two of them. And I'm like, oh my god, I got a Darth Maul. I think I have 100 of those.
Funny story is, like, at the time when those action figures came out, Darth Maul was so hard to find. I traded a radio DJ 2 Darth Maul figures for 2 tickets to the X-Fest.
Wow.
And, like, I was on the website, like, holding, like, the figures, giving them to the guy.
That's
like,
hilarious.
Yeah.
Because there was 2 Darth Mauls in that second set.
Because there was one with him with all the long robes, and there's one with everything off. Because he fought with just, like, his skin-tight suit.
I love the end of that movie, though, because I think the fighting in that is so well done where there's 3 fights going on at once.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly balanced, like the outer space stuff, the Padme stuff, and then that lightsaber duel. That lightsaber duel with Darth Maul and them, that's better than anything that's in these 2 new ones.
That's the truth.
That's better than anything in Force Awakens or anything in Last Jedi. They don't come anywhere freaking near how good Ray Park was as Darth Maul in those fights.
Ray Park was great.
I was going to say, I think part of that was because of Ray Park.
But they're so well done.
It's unbelievable martial artist.
Yeah, but there was so much drama in those lightsaber fights. You know what I mean? It was so well done. Like, it's great. When he kills Qui-Gon Jinn and then just turns and looks at Obi-Wan Kenobi like, next.
Yeah.
Like, I just put this bitch down.
And then he's crying and he's just like dragging his lightsaber
on the door. Like, it's just, he's great. I mean, he's so great. Killing him off was a huge mistake by George Lucas, because then they tried to bring him back in Clone Wars and all that stuff, and with his robot legs,
with his Dwayne Wade or his Derek Rose robot legs.
So there you go. That's a good one. I like it.
Yep.
Do you want to take a guess at what you think mine is?
Justice League?
No.
All right, then I don't know.
Batman v Superman?
Nope. Mine is the original Transformers. 2007.
Okay.
Growing up as a kid, Transformers was my life. Transformers and G.I. Joe. I mean, I love I'm a Transformer nut.
No.
Compared to Jim, my knowledge of Transformer cartoons. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was... And when I was a kid and watched Transformers the movie, which is still one of my all-time favorite movies, an 85 cartoon movie, I wanted live action.
Yeah.
And I waited 20-some years for that. Waited and waited and waited. I used to actually sit around and, like, fantasize about how I think the movie would go, like what they would look like, what they would be like. In that movie, they released a teaser for it, I think almost 2 years before the movie actually came out.
I think so.
2005, they did like a preview of the Mars rover running into a robot.
Yes.
And I remember I was just like, oh my god, like I can't wait for this movie. Like, I can't wait to see them. And all I kept thinking was, I can't wait to see what Optimus Prime looks like. And when I saw him, I loved it.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't what I wanted them to... I wanted the blockiness of how they looked. But I was like, okay, I understand. I hated the way Jazz looked. I hated the way Starscream looked. Megatron I was okay with, and I got that it was supposed to be alien and all that, but it annoyed me that there was only 5 for, like, each side, and there wasn't, like, a whole bunch in a minute. But it still lived up to it for me, because it was just... I'd waited so long. I would have took Optimus Prime driving around, turning into an Arby's truck, backing into a Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, they could have done anything, and I would have been like, it's Peter Cullen, it's fine, But in that movie, when he says Autobots roll out and they ride down a thing, like, I almost had an orgasm in the theater when I saw it. I mean, I was so excited. That movie, I was so excited to see that movie. I saw it 10 times in the theater.
Jesus.
I went by myself at night. I took my kids. I took Sabra. I took my grandfather, who was like 90 at the time. I took my dad, my parents. I went with my uncle once. Like, anybody that was like, I haven't seen that movie, I'm like, you have it? We're going. I remember watching a trailer like 100 times. Like,
I went and saw it opening night at midnight with a bunch of buddies that all of us like Transformers, and we're like, went out to our cars and we're disappointed that we didn't have cool like transforming cars, and talked about it in the parking lot for a while.
And it set me up with so much hope of things to come, which didn't let me down. You know, like when that movie ends and Starscream like takes off into the sky, like I'm like, oh, please bring back the Constructicons and all. And then you get the next movie and you're like, the Constructicons look so dumb. They're not green. Devastator has testicles. Even though I like Revenge of the Fallen and parts of it, it just was like, you know, Michael Bay, just, you know, Bumblebee was so cool in the first movie. Megan Fox was so hot. You know, it had so much cool stuff, the original, that, you know, it didn't let me down. I didn't leave that movie like, now when I look back at it, I'm like, I wish they would have done some things differently.
Well, yeah,
I hate how the franchise ended up from that movie, especially with the last one.
Yeah.
I never thought if you would have told me at the beginning of me seeing that movie 10 times in the theater that by the time the 5th one was out that I'd be so annoyed of it that I'd rate it a 0.5 on my podcast. Never thought that would happen.
Well, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. So that's one that needs a reboot.
With Mask.
Yes. Anybody have any honorable mentions? Justin?
I'm gonna honorable mention. I'm gonna go with Ready Player One.
Okay.
And the reason I'm gonna go with that is because from the beginning when I first saw the first trailer, I had started to realize, okay, this is gonna be very different from the book. And the more stuff I saw about it, the more I realized how different it was gonna be. So I went into it with a mindset that as long as the main story arc is there, as long as there's some things that you know the main pieces of the story are there. As long as it's a good movie, I'm going to be happy with it, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
And so that, for me, that absolutely lived up to the hype, and I can't wait for it to hit DVD.
Okay. Ken, do you have any honorable mentions?
I mean, I love Scott Pilgrim. I got to see it early, and I got to host a screen.
You were hyped for that one.
Yeah, because I read, and what was great was it's 6 books long. 6?
Yeah, I think it's
6. Yeah, sorry, I had a brain fart. So it's 6 books long, but that movie came out before the 6th book.
Yeah.
So you got to see the movie, and it was out before the ending, and you know.
Did that annoy you that you were seeing like how it's ending and you didn't even see it?
It was a completely different ending, which I was fine with because they couldn't really do the book ending in the movie.
Yeah.
But
I still need to borrow those.
All right, anytime you want. I have the color deluxe edition. So it was cool. I got to see it early. I got to host a screening and talk before it because of the nerd job that I had at the time.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was fun. I mean, it was one of the only fun times I had at my job. So it was just a good time, and I was excited for it. And everyone at the shop I was working at was real excited for it. So it was good.
Cool. I think for me, an honorable mention would be the '89 Batman.
Okay.
I was such a Batman fan growing up, and I had to buy like Premiere You know, there was an internet back then, so I had like Premiere magazine and like Batman's on the cover, and I'm like, oh my god, look at the car, look at the Joker, like it's finally happening. I wore Batman shirts every day of the week that year. You know, I was in 8th grade with like a Batman shirt on every single day. You know, and I didn't like Michael Keaton casted as it, but then loved him afterwards. That's another movie that I watched probably 1,000,000 times. Was quoting it. Had the Prince soundtrack. Listened to that 1,000,000 times on tape and CD and everything else. So that one was a big one for me. That I still enjoy that movie, even though it's kind of Tim Burton weirdness and all that. It's still one of my favorite Batmans, I think, of all time. It was good for its time.
I think it was good. Yeah, I mean,
the car alone was awesome. Yeah. You know, the fight scenes are good in it. Jack Nicholson's his own Joker in it, you know. It's entertaining. And there you go. Those are our hyped movies. So
yes.
Next week we will see if Infinity War lives up to this hype.
I don't see how it can't, but, that's just
We'll
me.
see what it does. There's never been anything like it, so we're excited for it.
Yep.
And we hope Justin gets to see it.
Yes. Hopefully.
I'm working.
And we will have plenty of coverage of it, so stay tuned for all that. We'll have reactions to it, trailers to it. We'll do something with Justin afterwards on it when he sees it, and we'll do a video from him, and we'll have a ton of stuff going on with it, so check us out.
So much stuff.
There you go.
So please like, share, subscribe, invite, tell your friends, write a note in the comments. Tell us how bad we suck. But, and kiss your mother in the mouth for me.
She needs it.